will players quit Genshin Impact for Wuthering Waves? Now, I don't see this happening. I see maybe a few Genshin Impact players quitting to go to Wuthering Waves, but I do not see it happening in mass. I see players either going to try Wuthering Waves and being like, this isn't for me, and then sticking with Genshin Impact. Or I see the few that will leave Genshin Impact to go to Wuthering Waves, or they're just going to play both. And in all honesty, that's going to be me. I'm going to be the person that just plays both. So that's realistically what's going to happen, is people are going to probably play both. But I wanted to see why Tectone reacted to it, so I'm going to react to Tectone watching this video, because I know that's what Tectone does. He's got the title over here in his screen capture. Is Wuthering Waves a break from Hoyo games? So let's react to Tectone reacting to this video. And I'll try to find and link both videos in the description below, so definitely check those out. And while you're at it, hit that like button for my video, subscribe to the channel, help us grow a community over here, and let's see what all this fuss is about.
Video got like crazy disliked.
Okay.
It's like what, 15-20% over the title of the previous name of the video. So the original name of the video is "Will Players Quit Hoyo Games for Wuthering Waves?" And so he changed it once he got a bunch of dislikes. Allegedly.
Honestly, unless your title is not being picked up by the SEO, which is the YouTube search algorithm, I wouldn't change your title. If your title is drawing eyeballs and it's not anything offensive, then leave it alone. The only reason you should change the title of your video is if you find out it's offensive, or you're just not getting picked up by the SEO. I've had to do that a couple of times. I've had to change titles because of SEO reasons, so the algorithm could pick up the video.
But I am curious to hear what he said that was so volatile. Let's hear it.
I mean, it's a very good question,
I have a very good answer to this, but I'm curious to hear what he says first.
to be honest, because this game is coming out in 20 days now, so it's very fair to ask if people are gonna quit Honkai Star Rail for Wuthering Waves. First,
I think the answer to that question is yes.
I think the answer to that question is yes and no. Like I said, a few players will probably quit Genshin Impact to go to Wuthering Waves, but I do not see it happening in mass.
I think people are going to quit Genshin and Honkai immediately when the game first comes out. But then once the update patches come out, then they'll go back. But I do think that you can only play a certain amount of games every day. So you are going to have to pick. Like, you are going to have to pick.
And so, yes, he is picking the middle road answer, just like me. He's just going about a different way of wording it. Yeah, a lot of players, like myself, whenever Star Rail gets an expansion, I play Star Rail, and like only reason I get on Genshin is just I burn. I quickly burn through my resin, and then I go right to Star Rail and play Star Rail. And the same thing happens for when Genshin gets a big release. I'll burn through my Trailblaze power as fast as I can, and then go to Genshin and do whatever the story stuff is for Genshin.
for a fact that is going to happen. In the first week of Wuthering Waves, the answer of the question is definitely yes.
Yep,
People are going to quit Honkai Star Rail. People are going to quit Genshin. We 100%. Saw how big Tower of Fantasy was in its first week. And
yeah, Tower of Fantasy was huge. It's one of the biggest fall-offs ever. I want to quote that I had over 43,000 live viewers on Twitch merely playing the game. Yeah, I don't know if Wuthering Waves will have that big of viewership, but we will have to see. And I will be live day one, and I'll be real, I actually might make some guides for Wuthering Waves.
Yeah, I think that Wuthering Waves is, during that first day, I would even say even the first week, but definitely the first day, I think it's going to have a lot of viewership. And the big thing is that what's going to draw a lot of people to watch and check out Wuthering Waves on Twitch is if it is the hype, if it's worth all the hype that's been building up around it. Is it the Genshin killer? And we're going to see. That second closed beta was really good. And so, again, we are going to see if it brings what players are expecting it to bring to the table and be a huge competitor to Genshin Impact.
Waves too, because it's a game that I think might actually need them, but we'll see.
Wuthering Waves looks very huge, so Wuthering Waves first week will be insane. Not only for players, but for content creators, because...
I will most likely be going live on Wuthering Waves day 1 and doing like a fucking 24-hour stream.
For me, if I'm able to, I'll probably also be doing a stream day 1 of Wuthering Waves. If not, definitely day 2 or 3. It really just depends on my schedule. But I will definitely be streaming Wuthering Waves like when I first started up. I definitely will be playing it.
We'll see.
Every single content creator of any gacha game will now cover Wuthering Waves. Yep. So even for people who...
Unless they're stupid.
Oh, you know for a fact. Just about every gacha game content creator. Myself, Tectone, Imtashed, Gacha Smack, so on and so forth. You would be high not to at least try Wuthering Waves and be a content creator for gacha games at the same time. You'd be high not to try it.
I feel like if you're someone who has absurd brand loyalty and you only want to cover Hoyo games because you're like in love with the brand of Hoyo, I feel like that's just a missed opportunity. There are a lot of content creators who have had to force to cover Wuthering Waves because they were afraid of what their audience might think. But I think that the Wuthering Waves community and the Genshin Impact community are going to be very, very, very similar. There's no reason for a content creator to not cover Wuthering Waves, because the more games that you can cover as a content creator, the more likely that your audience is to realize that they're there for you and not the games that you play.
And he brings up a very good point. I could see like content creators who have engraved themselves into being a Hoyoverse content creator, or even worse, specifically a Genshin Impact content creator. Like, I could see them being like, I don't know. I don't want to piss off my community that specifically watches me just because I play Genshin Impact. I could see that, because let's be honest, let's be for real. There is a core part of the Genshin Impact community that will lay down on a sword for Genshin Impact, and I could see that happening. But for the most part, if you are a gacha game content creator, you would be high not to at least stream Wuthering Waves during week 1 and at least make a few videos on it.
Right? So that is kind of the point. It's very important for the longevity of content creator to do that shit. Yeah, and make sure to support your favorite content creators who are going to be covering Wuthering Waves as well.
Who are not going to immediately quit Honkai Star Rail or Genshin. They will be getting so many Wuthering Waves ads and even guides for the game, and people talking about the state of the game, giving reviews. And for content creators, that's gonna be extended to not only a week, but to the whole 1.0.
Yeah, I'll be real, man. I'm going to be uploading 5 videos a day, like every day, the moment Wuthering Waves comes out. I actually cannot wait.
But now let's move to something that is not guaranteed, and that is only an assumption.
The Wuthering Waves community is so kind. Yeah, well, just wait till Genshin Impact community gets their hands on that.
Assumption from us. After a month of Wuthering Waves, will players quit Wuthering Waves and go back to Honkai Star Rail and Genshin, or maybe...
I don't see it going that far. Honestly, and this is my take on it. The crazy people that are in the Genshin Impact community, and I'm not saying everyone's crazy, I'm just talking about that core group that will, like I said, lay down on the sword for Genshin Impact. I don't think are going to leave Genshin Impact. They have engraved themselves into that game. They've niched themselves into it, and I'm not talking about content creators. I'm talking about just the diehard fans of Genshin Impact, that kind of the ones that I'm talking about. I don't see them leaving Genshin Impact. And I think we've locked them away into that corner of Genshin Impact. Other than that, Don't get me wrong. I've noticed that Star Rail has some of those people too. But I don't see them coming over to Wuthering Waves. Because because of the tribalism aspect. They've become part of the Hoyoverse Genshin Impact tribe. They're not going to leave to Wuthering Waves.
Maybe play all of them. So let me tell you what I'm expecting.
Let me tell you what they need to do. Within the first 1 week of Wuthering Waves being released, they need to let everyone know when 1.1 is coming out and what content to expect for 1.1. I know Wuthering Waves, I know for a fact they have at least until 1.2 developed. They need to keep the transparency very high, and they need to give people something to look forward to from the moment they start playing the game. It's very important. Have a developer radio, do lots of hype, do a whole debut for their fucking for their game, and do so many ads, aggressively market as much as possible. And this is very good to see how many content creators are currently covering Wuthering Waves, because that's going to build the SEO and build the SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization, which means how likely are you to get recommended this content outside of the actual content space itself. And like creators like Hexjuice, Shinya, Mr. Pokey, MTash. I know a lot of people are already covering Wuthering Waves, and I'm excited. If you are a content creator, you need to make a Wuthering Waves video immediately.
I did one earlier, and I'm doing one now. But yes, if you are going to be working on Wuthering Waves stuff, hello, that is what you need to be doing. You need to go ahead and put yourself and like start making videos and put yourself into the algorithm for Wuthering Waves. That way, when people are searching Wuthering Waves content, the algorithm already sees that you're kind of like your channel is already doing Wuthering Waves stuff, so it pulls up Wuthering Waves videos. But also, yes, Wuthering Waves, aka Koro Games, if we're specifically talking about the developer here, they do need to be doing what Tectone is mentioning here. They do need to kind of basically, and what he's kind of referring to, is do what Honkai Star Rail's team is doing. Be transparent. Give people stuff to look forward to. That way they have at least an idea, a roadmap on what they can be developing their accounts for like when they're preparing for the future, not just when they're dealing with the present.
At the end of the day, Honkai Star Rail is doing a very good job, to be honest.
Agreed.
With their game.
Very agreed.
Honkai Star Rail is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's very irritating when people say, oh, when Honkai Star Rail makes money, you guys are excited. But when Genshin does, you all get pissed. Yeah, that's because Honkai Star Rail is being very well taken care of, and Genshin Impact is a fucking afterthought.
Yes. This is what people don't understand. The Honkai Star Rail team is giving players stuff to look forward to. We already now, and I wish I made a video at the time about this, but I was very busy. They already announced a third end-game mode that's more, from what I'm hearing based on rumor, is going to be focused on hunt path characters, which is now the only path that really kind of struggles with content in the game. And so now that's a third end-game mode. And why, and now I'm going to lead into why Star Rail does so good, is that they make us feel a reason to develop characters in the game. Genshin Impact, for the very longest time, it just felt like we were getting these characters and building them just for the hell of it. There was no real good reason. Like half the time I just half-assed my artifacts in Genshin Impact just because I feel no real motive other than to beat Spiral Abyss. And nowadays Spiral Abyss isn't really even that hard to beat. And so that's the big thing.
That's been added to Honkai Star Rail is insane. They're adding endgame in the next patch. The story is very good. We're not seeing any dry patch till now. But in Honkai Star Rail 2.2
I think the driest patch in Honkai Star Rail's history was probably 1.1.
is where the story ends. At least the story of
I agree.
Pinakoni. And that's where they're gonna have a very big challenge, to say the least. Because we saw what happened in Genshin. We had 4 dry patches.
Yep.
But the thing is,
4 dry patches is nuts. I'm going to do a hot take, bro. That's not a dry patch anymore, okay? The game died for 4 fucking patches.
2.3.
This latest patch was okay. I know me and Tectone disagree on this. I thought the Arlecchino story quest was actually okay. I know, and again, people might disagree based on our opinion of spoilers based on that short that came out. That was an amazing short. My point of view is that they add context to one another. I don't see it much as a spoiler because I feel like that was done on purpose. But I think 4.6 is okay. I enjoy, like I said, I enjoyed the Arlecchino story quest. I thought the new area they added was, granted, I thought the island was kind of neat. I liked the underwater world. I thought the underwater world was pretty neat. Everything else was kind of lackluster, especially that dead zone area in Sumeru that they put over there. That is hilarious. That is like hilarious and not in a good way. But yes, 4.6 does have its faults. But again, I enjoyed the Arlecchino story. Now, we're going to see how good this Arataki Ito event is. I will reserve judgment for that. But for the most part, 4.6 was okay. Now, 4.5. 4.5 was nothing except just the addition of Chiori. 4.5. If you want to talk about a dead patch, that was a dead patch. And then 4.4, honestly, I don't even remember 4.4.
3, they're adding endgame, and that's why it looks very good for Honkai Star Rail. I really feel that Honkai Star Rail are going to do a good job, maybe have one dry patch, but I think they're going to be...
Whichever update added the leeway area. That was okay, but again, nothing special.
Adding good content every time. Now, if they fail to do this, of course, people are gonna stick more to Wuthering Waves. But if they do a good job in this, I think that players are gonna be playing both. But which one will be their main game?
Well, I don't think that you can play Genshin and Honkai at the same time because a lot of people are just like exploring in the game, which can be like infinite. But for Honkai Star Rail, there is like a hard cap of content where it's like get all your dailies done. 15, 20 minutes to log off. I think playing Honkai and Wuthering Waves is going to be very easy. I'm going to be doing that for sure. But my main...
Yes, I agree. I 100% believe that players are, for the most part, going to be playing both. I think that, and that's what I'm going to be doing, and that's pretty much what Tectone said he's going to be doing, is I'm going to be playing Genshin, I'm going to be playing Star Rail, and I'm going to be playing Wuthering Waves. My plan... my expectation, I should say, is to play all 3 games. When Genshin Impact is dead, I will just burn for my resin and focus on Star Rail and Wuthering Waves. And then just kind of do the same thing, just rotate between the 3.
Main focus will be Wuthering Waves for a little bit, but I'll be real, guys. I'm so down bad for Honkai Star Rail, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, I genuinely love that game so fucking much. I think about it all the fucking time.
I feel that. I feel that a lot. Star Rail has become one of my favorite games. Star Rail has been an amazing game. The Penacony story, honestly, is amazing. And I cannot wait because what's around the corner? The 3rd part of the Penacony story. And then what's the update after the Penacony story? I'm going to be saving so hard for Firefly. I'm going to be saving so hard.
It will probably be Wuthering Waves. First, it's new. Secondly, Honkai Star Rail's main story in Penacony ends, and the honeymoon phase of Wuthering Waves will be very long till this time. But on the other hand, with Genshin, I think so many people were gonna quit Genshin for a month at least and be playing Wuthering Waves. So many of them.
I can see that. I can see that definitely.
Impact. This is for sure, and we will be like that for like 3 months if Wuthering Waves drops a very good patch at 1.1 or 1.2 until we reach August, and that's where Genshin Impact will probably drop Natlan. Here, I guarantee you, Wuthering Waves will lose popularity a little bit. Well, I mean, it's not 100% because they might do an insane job.
Same, and this is what I'm saying. These 3 games, if they do become like the top 3 big games in the gacha game space, that is 100% going to be the rotation. So take a look at now, like literally right now. Honkai Star Rail has the Pinacone Part 3 story coming out this week. Genshin Impact is going to definitely lose players because everyone's going to be playing the Part 3 story for Pinacone. Then, at the end of this month, Wuthering Waves is going to come out. Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail are going to lose players, especially Genshin Impact, are going to lose players because of the release of Wuthering Waves. For that first week to that first month of Wuthering Waves' release, it's going to be Wuthering Waves nonstop. And then what this dude is saying is 100% true. When Natlan comes out for Genshin Impact, Star Rail, and especially Wuthering Waves, is going to lose players for Natlan. And that's what I'm saying. It's just going to be a rotation between the 3 if Wuthering Waves can sustain its audience, its player base.
But at the same time, it's not gonna beat the new region in Genshin Impact. Wuthering Waves will still be new at this point. And so Genshin Impact will be...
Now, the other thing is that 5.0 is going to have to deliver very hard, because when people go back for the hype patch of 5.0, and if it is just more of the same, that's going to be the biggest advertisement of Wuthering Waves, is every time there's a bad patch, more and more people are going to make the swap to Wuthering Waves. 1,000,000%. Genshin Impact has never had a fire underneath their ass as hard as they are when Wuthering Waves release, and how apropos it is that they're releasing the Fire region shortly after. If they don't deliver on every front, they're fucked. Now, I do believe with how many dry patches there's been in 4.0 and beyond, that they probably are doing a lot of development for Natlan, but we'll have to see. But like, they're gonna need to spice some shit up. And I really don't think their idea of the endgame content they currently have implemented is gonna be anywhere near enough to be able to deliver on the front that they need to.
Very popular for probably 3 months again, but in all of that, I think that people will still be playing Honkai Star Rail, but it's not gonna be their main game for a while, especially if they drop so many dry patches. But this is the most that I can predict. To be honest, after that, it's a mystery, and I don't think that anyone can tell you what's gonna happen after that. Gonna have to wait and see how Wuthering Waves, how Honkai Star Rail, but for the first 5 months at least, this is how it looks like. People are gonna quit Genshin and Honkai Star Rail in the first month, and then they're gonna slowly come back, but Wuthering Waves will be their main game, and then they will come back to Genshin Impact to be their main game for some time because of the story, but probably not quit Honkai Star Rail, because Honkai Star Rail is doing a very good job. That the most thing that can happen to this game is that people are just not gonna make it their main game for a while. But if we go
I think Honkai Star Rail will still be a lot of people's main game, as in their favorite game, but the problem...
I can agree to that, and I see definitely Tecton saying this because, like you said, it's basically his favorite game now, and I can agree to that. Star Rail has established itself as a good game that rewards its player base. And when I say rewards, I don't mean just specifically rewards, but it gives players what they want. It gives them a reason to build their characters, and so on and so forth. And on top of that, a good story. So I see, and this goes to the big thing. If a dev team gives their players a reason to play, people will come back. That's why Star Rail is probably going to stay fine. Genshin Impact, that's why Genshin Impact is in this discussion. Not just because Wuthering Waves is a direct competitor to Genshin Impact due to Wuthering Waves literally being in the same genre in every aspect, but because Genshin Impact does such a poor job giving players a reason to play. Wuthering Waves is already in a good spot because even in the beta, if I recall, there was like 3. I saw like 3 different forms of endgame. A simulated universe mode, a version of Spiral Abyss, and a boss rush mode where you just take on harder version of bosses. Very cool stuff. So Wuthering Waves has already got its foot in the door of being in a good spot. And that is why Genshin Impact is in this conversation heavily as in trouble because of those two things. It's direct competition, and it's got the potential to be delivering in every way that players want.
Problem is, Honkai Star Rail is 1,000,000% a side game. So I just want to clarify the confusion on his language that he's using right now, because even if I am playing Wuthering Waves, I doubt that I'll like it more than the universe of Honkai Star Rail, because I really fuck with it. I love the characters. I love the world. I love the story. I
100% agree.
Gameplay. But I do think Wuthering Waves will be a game that I will be playing more due to that being the nature of the game.
To mid-July, we're gonna have ZZZ. I don't think that ZZZ is going to kill the hype for Wuthering Waves. I don't think it's gonna beat Wuthering Waves, but
I'm also going to be playing ZZZ, and I actually can't wait for that game too.
And this is where we're going to disagree a bit. I don't see much in ZZZ. I do not see ZZZ popping off at all. I think ZZZ's got too much going against it based on, and I didn't play the betas, so I can't speak from personal points of view, but based on what I've seen, what I've heard, ZZZ is not in a good spot. We'll see when it does its next beta, because from what I've heard, it's got another beta coming out. We'll see what improvements have been made. But based on the last beta, ZZZ was not in a good spot.
Can't wait to have that many games to play. It's going to be awesome.
I think it's going to be high. People are gonna play it for a week or two and then maybe keep on playing it. I don't know, to be honest. But I don't think they're going to also quit ZZZ for Honkai Star Rail. Because looking at the CBT, it's looking good, but it's not looking that good. It doesn't have that much to, you know, play it, to be honest. I'm still kind of excited for it. I'm gonna play it. But I think that's everything we can talk about here. You know, we do one of these videos sometimes to open a discussion. So I would like to see your opinion in the comments, and also be sure to subscribe. Let's try to hit 10K as soon as possible. Peace, boys.
Yeah, really good video. I think if people got angry at that, they're just fucking stupid. I think that was a very fair video. I think it was a very interesting subject to talk about, and I feel like people need to stop being so fucking upset the moment anything negativity about quitting a game gets brought up. I mean, the community's just fucking soft. They need to fucking relax, but the reality is you only have a certain amount of time in a day. When a new game comes out that you really enjoy, you are going to play it more. It's just a natural thing. Now, can you go back? Absolutely.
I agree. I 100%. That's why I keep on saying that this is just going to be a thing where people just go in a circle. Whenever a game brings out a lot of content, people are going to shift focus to that content. That's why I'm saying Pinacone Part 3 is coming out in Star Rail. People are going to be playing it more than the Genshin Impact. When Wuthering Waves officially launches, people are going to kind of slow down on Genshin and Star Rail, switch to Wuthering Waves. When Natlan comes out for Genshin, everyone's just going to go to Genshin and play Natlan. And hell, when ZZZ comes out, people are going to try out ZZZ. Now, in my opinion, people are going to stop playing ZZZ probably relatively soon and go back to the other games. But it's just going to be a rotation. It's just literally going to be a rotation. And people are going to just kind of like, whenever things slow down, they're just going to kind of settle into the game that they preferably enjoy playing. For me, I prefer Star Rail, but if Wuthering Waves pops off like I feel that it is, I will probably settle with Wuthering Waves for a while, but go back to Star Rail, and then again, I enjoy Genshin, but I feel like Genshin has a lot of work.
But people are just way too caught up in their feelings right now. Straight up, just way too caught up in their feelings. All the games are going to be great. Genshin Impact, we'll see how it goes. 4.7 is a very important patch for Genshin. They cannot fuck that up. If the end game is bad, man, that's going to send people in waves to Wuthering Waves. I'm going to make so many goddamn videos shitting on 4.7 if the end game is bad. I'm going to just keep it a buck. All
right, so he's bringing up the rumor of new end-game content coming out for Genshin Impact. The rumor is that it's going to be kind of like a simulated universe, a Labyrinth Warriors for Genshin Impact. It's going to be new endgame. It's going to have primo gems that you can collect, so on and so forth. And I want this to pop up. I'll be honest. I'll be for real. I want this to do well for Genshin Impact because I honestly do want Genshin Impact to do well. I want Genshin Impact to get into that really good state that it was, that I loved playing back in the first year or two of Genshin. And so I hope it does well. But as Tectone's saying here, the other side of that coin is that if it does fail, this will be so hilarious and not in a good way for Genshin Impact. It will not go down good because it will show that Genshin Impact, it will show that the devs really don't care. But I honestly want there to be change for Genshin. I want Genshin to get back on track. So hopefully this end game that does come out, that is rumored to come out in 4.7, it does do well. I'm hoping it does well.
If 4.7 is not good, expect to see 5 uploads every day from me.
And also in 4.7, there's a rumor that finally the Dane Sleeve quest will be back. We'll get a new Dane Sleeve quest in 4.7. I hope that's true. I also want another Dane Sleeve quest.
Wuthering Waves delivers. Oh my God, I'm gonna be sucking Kuro's dick so goddamn hard. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you're gonna do for Wuthering Waves and Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact, and I'll see you on the next video. Also, join my Discord if you want to join for a Wuthering Waves category, Honkai Star Rail, Cookie Run Kingdom, any of that shit. See you on the next one. Peace, boys.
But yes, that's my thoughts. Again, a good video. I will leave a link to in the description for both these videos. So definitely check out those links. Definitely check out Tectone. Hit that like and subscribe button for him. And definitely check out Styorg. Definitely check out Styorg too. Check out his channel. Hit that like button for him. Hit that subscribe button for him. Great content creator. And while you're at it, hit that like and subscribe button for me. Hitting that like button helps me out. Hitting that subscribe button helps us grow a community over here. Helps us grow the channel. So definitely hit those like and subscribe buttons. And with that being said, head down to the comment section below. Let me know what you guys' take on all of this is. Are you going to be playing Wuthering Waves? Are you going to be playing Star Rail? Are you going to be playing Genshin Impact? Let me know. That being said, thank you guys for hanging out, and I'll catch you guys later.